Hi guys, welcome to Tick Back Time. Today I'm doing a review of the Zelos blacktip GMT mother of pearl. So this watch has both a mother of pearl dial as well as a bezel. And I've owned this watch for 2 weeks now, and right off the bat, let me tell you, it has been the most fun watch that I've ever had the pleasure of owning because of the way the dial and the bezel just changes with the different lighting conditions that you can throw at it. I mean, just look at that. It looks grey in certain lighting conditions, and when the direct light shines on it, the purple and the green and the iridescent colors start to appear. So this has been such a joy to own the past 2 weeks. I've been having a blast observing the dial and bezel under natural lighting, under artificial lighting, and I think that a mother of pearl has traditionally been a very feminine sort of material to use in watches, but somehow with the blacktip GMT, I think because it has this sort of skin diverish case shape, it has a rotating bezel, it is pretty large at 41 millimeters across, so it does not appear feminine at all to my eye. But of course, with mother of pearl, what you get is pretty much random because it's a natural material similar to meteorite, where the patterning is always random, and you will never have two watches with the exact same shade and hue and patterning on the dial and the bezel. And because of that, well, you could have gotten a watch with more purple, more pink, and well, if that's something that bothers you, then I guess these sort of lottery colors, material colors is not for you. But to me, well, that is part of the fun as well. And I don't think that this watch is really a lady's watch in any way, shape or form. But of course, that doesn't mean that ladies cannot enjoy this blacktip GMT mother of pearl watch as well. It's just so lovely, and I will get into how it's been like over the past 2 weeks, and I'll also get through the specs. But before that, I want to show you guys the packaging that it came in. It came in this Zelos metal box, which I think Zelos has been using for a while now. They are going to change it over. They're going to change their packaging to a 3-watch watch roll, which I'm really looking forward to in their future releases. And of course, the warranty card, the metal warranty card that all of you know and love from Zelos. Yeah, so you can put 3 watches here and a slot for your accessories. Okay, so over on to the specs of this watch. This watch is a 3/16 stainless steel watch. It has a diameter across at 41 millimeters. The thickness is 13 millimeters, and the lug to lug over here is 47.5 millimeters. The lug width is a very decent 20 millimeters across, so it will work well with many straps. The crystal is a sapphire crystal with an inner anti-reflective coating, so you can enjoy and admire this dial very easily. It has 200 meters of water resistance with a screw down crown. So the screw down crown is also loomed. Here's a screw down crown, and over here there's a loomed Z logo over here. And it also has a 48 click bezel, which is also loomed. So this 48 click bezel, I was very surprised when I first got the watch at how easy and how precise the bezel is. So if you can see, it clicks twice every hour, and it has no alignment issues at all, and it has no backplay. So this bezel has really impressed me. I think it is reminiscent of the Tudor Black Bay 58 bezel that I also have had the pleasure of playing around with. But I think for this price, this bezel is really awesome. So just let you guys hear it right now. Hear the precision in the clicks. Yeah, and over here it goes back to 12 o'clock with no issues whatsoever. So I'm really impressed at the bezel. And what's next? Okay, so of course the movement of this watch. So the movement of this watch is the Seiko NH34, which is a pretty new GMT movement. I think it was launched with the Seiko 5 GMTs recently. Yeah, so the Seiko NH34 will come in with a power reserve of 41 hours, and it will beat at the same 21600 Hz, which the Seiko NH35 and 36 beats at. And the accuracy is also the same at plus 40 seconds to minus 20 seconds a day. So that's a pretty wide sort of range for a Seiko watch. And well, for this particular model, I mean this particular piece, it has been getting consistently around minus 6 to minus 7 seconds a day. So it's not very fantastic, but it's nothing to really look down on as well, because well, you know, this watch is cost around just a bit over 400 USD. And let's be honest, you're getting this watch not really for the movement, but more so for the amazing dial and bezel that you can see over here. So the case shape is a skin diverish sort of case shape, 13 millimeters. On paper it sounds very thick, but I've not had a real problem with the thickness when I wear it on my wrist. My wrist is around 6.7 inches circumference, and I don't find this watch to be a very huge watch. Yeah, so just give you guys a quick one over here. So this is how it looks on my 6.5 inch wrist, and this is the wrist shot. So I really enjoy the H-link bracelet of this piece as well. So there's a Z logo here with a very nice clasp, which I'll get into shortly. But the bracelet is very comfortable. I think it's one of the most comfortable Zelos bracelets, maybe second only to the swordfish models, because the swordfish has very short links. I'm not sure how this compares to the swordfish bracelet in terms of the length, but it really tapers, it really drapes pretty well across your wrist. Yeah, so this is very comfortable. I like the way, you know, there's a polished chamfer on the case here, which extends all the way to the links of the bracelet. So this is really a nice touch. It gives that sort of quality, luxury sort of feel to the blacktip GMT, even though it's only a 400 plus USD watch. And of course, the blacktip GMT will come with a blacktip shark on the case back, so pretty cool there. Yeah, so the text says Zelos blacktip. Yeah, sapphire. I'm trying to read this through the camera, so it's pretty difficult for me. Zelos blacktip Seiko NH34 automatic, so pretty much the spec. Sapphire, 300 meters, and the serial number. Okay, so I'm not an expert with this movement, but I just want to show you how it works quickly. So screw out the crown, and of course the furthest position away would be the time adjust. So what I like to do always is when I fiddle around with the first position, I like to set my watch to around 6:30, so I don't accidentally change the date during the forbidden hours of 9 p.m. to 3 a.m. yeah. So okay, so now let's reset it over here. So if you pull out the crown one time, you're in the first position. If you turn it forward this way, what happens is that you are able to move the GMT hand. So the GMT hand will move here, so you can adjust it to your home time or whatever time you need to. And if you turn it the other way, you adjust the date. Yep. And of course, if you pull it out all the way, it's back to time adjust setting. So pretty cool. I'm not really one who travels that often, so I don't really need a GMT watch. It's just, you know, to be honest, if this came in a non-GMT variant with the same dial and same bezel configuration, I would have just gotten that. But yeah, it's always nice to have an additional complication. Yeah, so like I mentioned, the crown is Loom, the bezel is Loom, the numbers here are loomed. I'll show you guys a Loom shot at the end of the video. But I really want to just talk about the dial and talk about how it looks. I think that is really the draw of this watch over here. So as I've been, you know, playing around with this watch over the past 2 weeks, I've noticed that in direct sunlight, the watch really brings out all the different textures and the different hues. So for example, this watch, this particular slice of mother of pearl, there's a lot of different texture that appears to me that they represent, they are reminiscent of the clouds in the sky. The colors are really purple, green, blue, iridescent colors, and it just really speaks to me. And I would say that it's such a fun watch. It really is. It's one where you will never get bored of, especially if you have it in rotation with other pieces and you wear your other watches for a while and you put this back on and you're like, wow, okay. You realize how boring your other watches are. Yeah, so you know, the usual black dials, white dials, blue dials, green dials. I mean, there's nothing that can come close to something like this. It's such a chameleon. And for that, I really applaud Zelos. I think that if they continue innovating like this, if they continue to come up with these sort of unique materials, unique dials, and just unique styles overall, you don't copy others, you just come up with your own sort of flavor. You experiment with different things, and I think that this brand will continue to be successful for years to come. Yeah, so Zelos, you really did a good job for this one. I have not been disappointed with any of your watches so far. I think the only gripe for Zelos watch that I had in the past was the Hammerhead 2, where it was very thick at the case back, but that also has been resolved with the Hammerhead 3. So Zelos, I think, and you know, Elshan Tang, he provides 1 year warranty with all his watches, but the customer service is top notch and is the only micro brand that I feel comfortable buying and knowing that the support will continue to be there. Even after the warranty period, I've seen, you know, multiple posts on the Zelos Timekeepers group in Facebook where he continues to support people even after the warranty period. I'm not sure, you know, if there's an extra charge, but even if there is, I have every bit of confidence that it will be a very reasonable fee. So moving on to the claps here. So this is adjustable claps, on the fly adjustable claps with toolless adjustable claps. So it's quite reminiscent of a very big brand's sort of adjustable claps here. You push this button in and you just pull it out, and that's where you get a little bit of adjustment here. So that's quite a lot actually. Yeah, so yeah, there are a few increments where you can adjust this. And well, there you have it. Zelos, you know, they always try to make it as practical as possible, even though they try to make it as pretty as possible as well. So the blacktip GMT, do I have any final thoughts to this watch? I think that micro brands really should try to innovate, and they should really push the envelope when it comes to design and sort of stylized elements, because the big brands, they are probably more conservative. They need to know that a certain design style will work before they put it into production, since they are talking about tens of thousands of watches. Whereas micro brands, they sort of, you know, have the license to play around with things, and they produce them in smaller quantities, so the risk is not as large as a large brand. And that is something that I really find appealing when we're talking about these non-large corporate brands like Zelos. And I really hope that they continue to push forward in this innovation front, and don't, you know, succumb to just coming up with the same old tried and tested formulas that other brands do. And if that's the case, well, I think I will be looking forward to really buying and reviewing more Zelos watches in the future. And let me just leave you guys with a loom shot here. Let me charge this up. Like I mentioned, the bezel is loomed, the dial is loomed. Not the dial, but the indices and the hands are loomed. So Zelos has also been known not just for their innovative watches, but for their crazy loom on their watches as well. So here you go. This is what it looks like. And I'm just trying to give you guys a glimpse of how the loom is like. And yeah, so very good loom, shines blue, and all the numbers of the bezel are also loomed. So there you have it. Let me show you guys the crown. So like I mentioned, this is a loom crown as well. That's a very beautiful glowing blue Z for Zelos. So thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you like this watch, unfortunately there's no more stock on the Zelos website, but please look out on eBay, on other sources, or perhaps you can join the Zelos Timekeepers Facebook group. There are usually sales going on there, and I believe that you'll be able to pick this one up at quite an affordable price. But if not, always stay tuned to the new Zelos models that are upcoming. He always does something new, something awesome, and something unique when it comes to new models and new watches. So thank you guys, stay safe, I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you like what I put out, please feel free to subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one.